Let's get into the nuts and bolts of how to use G Suite for you and your students. This is my favorite part. We're going to start with Google Slides, which has been named the Swiss Army knife of Google. There are so many things that we can do with slides alone. Let's take a look. There are several ways to go about getting to Google Slides. I think the easiest is to start here in your drive. Select the folder, if you've made one, that you want to put this Google slide deck in. Click the New button and go down and choose Google Slides. Now we can come over here and use a blank presentation or from a template. I normally just click on Google Slides and get a blank presentation. Here's a quick tip for you. A second way to start a new slide deck is to type in slides.new in Google Chrome, and it will open up a new slide deck for you. One of the first things that we want to do is give this a title so that it doesn't get lost in your drive as untitled presentation. So we'll click right up there and title this. We're not going through every piece of slides because if you've used PowerPoint, it's very similar. And don't think that your kids have to know every button on this either. We can get them started and they will click the buttons. They'll figure out what else to do with this. You see on the right you have themes so that you could go in and choose any of those. I'm going to close that for now. We have our title slide. Let's take a look over here at the plus and the tiny triangle. If I hit plus, it's going to give me another slide right under that. The tiny triangle allows me to choose from the different slide layouts. After the title slide, if I click on, I have here slide 2, if I hit the plus again, it gives me another slide just like that. So know that whatever the previous slide was, that's what you will get next, unless you use the tiny triangle. Let's take a look under File. Page setup is going to be key in using this as a versatile tool. When I do that, I can change from widescreen to custom, and I can come in here and make this an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I can come in and choose to make it a very large document like poster size. So know that it doesn't have to be just presentation. Students can use these to make comics, to publish their own ebooks, to document an experiment they've done. There's just so many ways that it's just a work area. So think about this rather than a slide presentation. This is a perfect work area. My favorite is a blank slide, so that's where I'll start. We want to look at just a few features to get you going on how to work with this. One of those is a text box that you can click on the T here and come out, hold your mouse and drag, and you can size a text box whatever size you'd like. If you click the T and just click on the slide, it sizes it for you. So I generally like to drag it out so that I have that size that I want. Another feature that you'll be interested in is the insert an image. You can upload from your computer, get things from your drive. You can even take a picture of yourself here, but you can also search the web. And in Google Search, these are copyright friendly images. This is a good tool to teach students to use. Now we know that no filter catches everything, but these images are much better than just doing a Google search out on the Google search engine. So if I wanted to do one for, oh, can't type school there. Let's put school in. And I want to come in and I can just drag this over. There is also, if I choose an image, an insert button that comes up here at the bottom right. I can use that as well. On my image, I can resize that by grabbing the corners. Just a reminder, if you grab on the side or the top or the bottom and pull an image, it skews that image. So I try to remember to use just the corners. You have a variety of tools here at the top, and you can also click on an element and right click and you'll see you have different options. Just a few things about images. We can take and layer these, and I can do that. You see here, now this one does have a white background. It is not a PNG. But if I wanted to move that behind the schoolhouse in some way, I could right click, order, and send backward or send to back. And you see how that pulled the schoolhouse to the front. Another tool that you have available, I'm going to make this a little bit larger here, is a crop tool. Let's say that I just wanted a piece of this image. I'll go up here to my crop tool and I need to grab that little black line. You want to make sure you're to the inside of the picture, otherwise it grabs the blue dot. So black line, pull down, and I'll do that all the way around so that I can crop out a piece of this image. Hit my crop, and there we go. As you're thinking about meeting the needs of your students, while we don't have a microphone tool like we do in Google Docs, we still have a microphone. If you go up to the tools and you use voice type speaker notes, we can come down here, and for some of my students who had a struggle getting their thoughts onto paper, they would come down here, use the microphone tool, it would type it in the speaker notes, and then they could take and cut that and come up here or copy it and paste it into the slide. So just know that that's a tool that is available to everyone, and it really helps students who are struggling to get their thoughts down on paper. You know those kids that they can talk it out, but when you ask them to put it on paper, you get a much shorter answer. Two final things to help you. If you are making videos for your students, you can use this as a presentation tool. Here is your present button so that you can talk over these slides as you're making a video. And finally, your share button. This isn't going to be as important to students because they'll be working in classroom. But if you're wanting to share outside to your coworkers or other teachers, we all need to be pooling our resources right now. We're going to hit this share button, and you can add someone's email address in here. I'll go ahead and share it with myself. I can give myself, or the person I'm sending to, editing rights where they can only comment or where they can only view. So up to you how you choose to share that. You can give them a note and hit send. It will notify you that you're working outside of your organization, and that's okay. Google tries to keep you very safe inside of your organization. So I'll say yes, and that goes out. Another way to share, let's say that you've made a slide deck that you want to put on your class website, and you want parents to be able to see this. A couple of options we have. We're going here to get shareable link. And again, Google tries to keep you inside of your organization. I want to use the tiny triangle, and I still have just inside my organization. I'll click more, and now I can share anyone with the link. I could send this link out in a parent newsletter, and all of them would be able to read this, access this. But if I'm using it on a class website, I'll need to choose public on the web, and this will allow it to show up on the website. And then remember, this is in settings, so I need to hit save. And now anyone can find and view this, and I will hit done. Take a look at the next video that shows some examples of how Google Slides can be used, and then get started on a slide deck for your classroom.